actor.
God, WWE needs him.
WWE needs a lot of things.
We didn't meet Apollo Crews. He was actually genuinely really nice.
Dude, he was leaving, getting in the bus, and we walked away from the crowd and stood on the other side by ourselves, and we just had the security guards watching us, you know. And we're like, Apollo, can we get a picture? And he just puts his stuff. He goes, come on, guys. And walked us over. Hey, man, great. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate you guys. And
we saw Prince Albert, Matt Bloom. He was there.
He wouldn't even respond to
us.
He's a
trainer, you know, down there, whatever he does now.
Matt Bloom, yeah.
We're like, Matt, can we get a picture? He just kept walking.
He's had enough pictures in his career.
He still walks around with those.
Yeah.
He's a beast.
He is a beast.
He's huge.
But man, what was I watching last night when he was doing the? What was it? We were watching something, and the NXT panel. I watched it all.
You did?
Yeah, after you left.
It was really good. I almost watched that last night.
It was really, really good.
Fantastic.
It was really good. I'll admit. Can I see your pen?
Piper was probably one of the nicest.
You met Piper?
Yeah, I rode the elevator with him in Nashville.
That's awesome.
I found out. I went to a pay-per-view by myself. I went to Starrcade 96, him and Hogan.
Nice.
And I just kind of linger. I listen to people talk. They're like, so Hogan's supposed to be on floor, whatever. After a minute, I get up. I kind of cruise up because I'm by myself. So, and what I would always do, I would dress. I would try to dress not wrestling stuff. Or at least I would hide it for a while or whatever. Khakis and whatever. So I took the elevator to that floor and I just kind of started walking around. I'm walking down one of the halls.
When it goes on?
And
2 minutes.
Do you know what to do, though?
Voice. I'm like, that's Hogan, I think. And they're getting ready to leave. I can tell because the door's open. I can hear them getting ready. Okay, we'll get your bag, whatever. I'm like, crap, I can't just be standing there. So I went and I stood in the stairwell because their room was near the end of the hall. I stood in the stairwell and I'm listening. Finally, I hear him come out, shut the door, give them time to get going. Then I come out of the stairwell and I'm walking. It's Piper and that big bodyguard he used to have and his son, Colt, who's now a wrestler himself. You know, a little kid. And so I followed him, they get on the elevator and they turn around and I was like, can I? And he was like, come on.
That's cool.
And so we get to ride the elevator and I talked to him on the way down and it just such a
That's really cool.
Such a friendly guy.
Well, since he's passed, I mean, of course, I've been a Piper fan for years, but not as much as I am now. Like, now that he's gone, it's like...
Oh, cool.
I always said he was the ultimate.
Well, we go. We're going.
You got 30 seconds, Jay. I like your hair, by the way.
Thank you.
What was that post about all the girls in their straight hair or something you said?
Well, like, all girls are, like, going natural without straightening their hair or putting perms or any kind of chemicals in it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm noticing? More girls that I know are putting extensions in than anything.
Yeah.
Brooke, all the girls on the rocks, I'm like, nice hair. She's like, it's all fake. What?
What did he go over with you last week?
My favorite thing is...
Hey, Chris, watch me, though, right at the beginning, because I'm going to check my mic, and I may need you to bump us up in the headphones, okay? Because sometimes he's too loud, and I need to even it out. Just do whatever you can to act like this is not Flobama. Actually do a good job.
God, man, it got cold in here.
This ain't Personas, brah. So, hey, your intros, you got something about him you're going to say? Okay.
Do you want me to say thanks for having me kind of thing in the beginning?
Watch him.
Okay. I don't have to.
Might be easier if we share mics since we're in the same.
Hey, share yours with him for right now. I can't move this anymore.
I mean, I'll scoot over that way.
Huh?
I was thinking about scooting a little more over that way. Just when you want me to chime in. Get excited when
No,
we
this
come on.
is Justin's
I'll go
mic.
Yeah.
That's Chad's, and then that's...
Because...
All right, good morning, and welcome to the Shoals Area hottest new radio talk show, The Wrestling Reel with Drumb and Drumber. Happy Tuesday to all of you. We are live here at Fox Sports Shoals on 97.9 FM and 1340 AM. And like I said, thank you for tuning in with us, and holy cow, what an amazing show we have for all of you today. Justin, come on, man, and a very exciting show we've got today.
Yeah, we're going to recap Monday Night Raw.
Well, this is the most exciting show today. You do that all the time, man. Come on, get more excited. Let's go.
Yeah!
This is our most exciting show today, and we can't wait to get into it. I'm still on the high, and I still get just, chill bumps thinking about it. But we are going to be talking about the greatest live show that I think I personally have ever attended. Yeah, personally, we went to NXT in Nashville. But like Justin said, we will recap a little bit about last night's Monday Night Raw from Boston. And we also have our great friend and former professional wrestler, the Mean Streak, Wade Woods, is here in the studio. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, gentlemen. Thank you very much. Real quick, shameless plug before we get started.
Go for it.
Tonight, 8 p.m., I'm going to be wrestling Johnny Depp at the Florence College.
That's awesome. Yes.
Squash match,
Well,
right?
this was kind of a second location. I had originally set it up and talked to the Dream Vision Soundscapes theme park, but they never called me back.
That's great. I mean, he is in town and everything, all the sightings.
I'm shocked they never called you back, man.
He was living on I heard he was living on my street.
That's awesome. The Mean Streak.
Yeah, I don't know why they never called me back, by the way.
That's great. And we also have Max Fry. How you doing, Max?
What's going on?
And Chris Williams. How you doing, buddy?
Yo.
Right on.
And we got one of your morning hosts, Miss J, in the house.
JJJ. But I am the baby face of the show, Chad Burdine, and this is Justin. I can't drive in heavy city traffic and always spazzes out.
What's that supposed to mean?
Holder, terrible driver.
I'm a terrible driver?
I'm never letting you drive in Nashville again.
We run the Brooklyn Bridge, for God's sakes.
Brooklyn Bridge in Nashville. Well, that makes a lot of sense.
I'm just saying, it's a scary bridge. If you've ever driven across it, it's really scary.
Again, welcome to the Wrestling World with Drumb and Drumber. We are live from beautiful Florence, Alabama on Sam Phillips Street. You can follow the official Twitter page of the Wrestling Reel at Real2Us979, and be sure to use the hashtag Wrestling Reel. That's Wrestling REAL. And you can follow me, Chad Burdine, on Twitter at Chad Burdine.
And myself,
and
Justin
follow
Holder,
Justin, if he ever gets on Twitter,
at Drummerho.
at Drummerho.
H-O.
We are also on Facebook, so be sure to search for the Wrestling Reel and hit that like button and share with your friends and talk with us on Facebook. But we will be reading some of your tweets live on air, so like I said, use the hashtag Wrestling Reel. But this show is all about you. We want to hear from you. So be sure to call us, tag in with us, call us here at the studio and talk live on air with us at the Wrestling Reel at 256-764-1340. Again, that's 256-764-1340. And you can also listen to the show live on your smartphone, your tablet, or your mobile device by downloading the Fox Sports Shoals app.
Just search Fox Sports Shoals app.
And on the main page of the app, there is a menu button with a direct link to here at the studio, so you can also talk with us through the Fox Sports Shoals app. And we're streaming today. Thank you, Chris. We're streaming live from our YouTube channel, so just all you have to do is search Drumb and Drumber or YouTube or Wrestling Reel, and we're everywhere.
I feel like DX selling merchandise.
We're everywhere, man. But dude, come on, man, that was a good promo. I think I write better
Chad,
promos.
you did a great job.
I think I write better promos than Ryback, personally. That's just me.
That was good.
But like I said, this is the most exciting show to date here on the Wrestling World because I am still talking and thinking about what a too sweet time we had at NXT Nashville. And Justin, seriously, bro, the most amazing weekend ever, wasn't it?
Yeah, I had a concussion.
So go ahead and just too sweet me one time, man. Great weekend.
Yeah.
Tell us about your weekend, Justin.
Well, it started Friday, where we went to NXT, and then it ended up Sunday with me falling asleep on the couch and ending up in the hospital. I don't know why.
Don't remember,
but I have a good little wrestling scar on my face. So
you had a couple of shows on Saturday.
I pulled a Ziggler. Yeah.
How many shows did you play this weekend?
Three. Yes, we played out at Rattlesnake Saloon with Fathers and Sons, which is Kelvin, Holly, Will McFarland, and Jamie McFarland, and Janet McFarland.
Not a sponsor.
We played out there, and it was freezing and rainy, and we had a bunch of fun though. And then we went to DP's that night, not a sponsor, and played there as well. And then Sunday at City Hardware, not a sponsor. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. And Friday though, we got to get to Friday because we've been to Mania, we've been to Raws, we've been to TNA's, and by far we've been in front of 16,000 people, 8,000 people, 82.
Yeah.
And then we're in front of 1,500 people at the War Memorial in Nashville.
The most intimate environment.
It was absolutely amazing. For those of y'all that have ever seen it, we're on the balcony leaning over the railing. Like, we're literally right there on the railing. And it starts with Chad got there early, and he had already sent me a picture of some of the, or you'd already met or seen some of the wrestlers or whatever. But I'm walking in with our signs we made. And last week we talked on the show about signs.
We did some great preparation for this.
We really did some great preparation, and yeah, and but I walk in with the signs, and I had to go to the bathroom really bad. So I gave the signs to my friend Chris, who was with us, and I go to the restroom. And then as I'm coming back up, I hear the crowd start like, yes, yes. And I'm like, at any wrestling event, they always get into it a lot right at the beginning, But I walk in and realize that Chad is holding up all of the wrestling signs early on that we've made, and the crowd's just going crazy.
They're just eating it up.
They're eating it up.
And responding accordingly, too.
Oh, it was great. And so right then we were already over. And then we sat down, and let's just get into it, man, because first match of the night was...
Well, before you even came back,
Yeah,
like
you
you
got
said,
one to say that.
well, I mean, you went to the bathroom, like you said, and I'm just showing my signs, because we had great seats. It was not a bad seat in the house. It was at the War Memorial in Nashville. And like Justin said, there was about 1,400, 1,500 people there. Very intimate environment. Great lineup. We had no idea who was going to be on the card that day. Justin's eating some Cheez-Its, white cheddar Cheez-Its. And one of the signs I had that I just was like, you know what, I'm just going to try. Let's see what kind of reaction it was. So we had this mega sign made that says, if Eva Marie is here, we riot.
Because if you remember back in the day at the One Night Stand with Rob Van Dam versus
John
Cena, they had a giant sign that said, if Cena wins, we riot.
And just the response.
Now, luckily,
show
Rob
was
Van
just
Dam
crazy.
won that night, correct? So there wasn't a need for a riot. So we make the sign. We were like,
We had
What
the
if-
idea was.
what if we put, if Eva Marie wins, we riot? And then my buddy Chris says, what if you put, if she's here? And I went, oh my God, that's great. So we just, in giant cardboard, with two pieces, two people had to hold it. If Eva Marie's here, we riot.
And I
We
laid
didn't
it
know
over
that
the-
she was
the
going to
balcony.
be there, though.
Yeah.
We actually, because we looked at the card and she wasn't advertised for the card, so we didn't actually know she was going to be there.
The only people that were advertised was Finn Balor, Samoa Joe,
Tyler
Tyler Breeze,
Breeze.
and Bailey.
And Enzo and Cass.
Bailey. Well, I'm talking like the picture, like that they had, for the whole.
But even
promotion
reading
for it.
who was going to be there, I didn't know. Baron Corbin was there. We didn't know that, and the Ty Dillinger. I didn't know. Those kind of things. But we get the signs going, and we had a couple other signs. Chad held up. We always carry around.
Well, as soon as that we put if even Marie's here, we riot. The entire auditorium just starts, like you said, yes. So I just start doing her character, blowing kisses to everybody.
And this is just Chad by himself before the match starts. Just
and
entertaining
I'm
the
just kind of
audience.
like, they're going nuts, and I'm like, okay, I'll let a couple minutes pass by, and I had another mega huge sign that said Balor Club. So I thought about hanging that over, and as soon as I did that one, the place they didn't start, chanting, but they all started clapping. And then I kind of riled him up because he does this he stretches out his arms during his entrance. The lights, it's all white light on him. And I got him, I was like, here we go. Oh, and then the entire arena just lifted their arms at the same time. I marked out for that moment. It was really, really cool. But yeah, all of our signs that really, I think we're going to be the NXT sign guys.
We want to be. I would love to be the official NXT sign guys. We actually have one sign we've taken to TNA. That was the best, taking it to TNA.
Everywhere. We've taken it everywhere.
It says, spoiler alert, Cena wins. So, you got to imagine, we're walking into TNA in Bridgestone or wherever we were in Nashville, and we're holding up the sign. And so we had that sign. We had How You Doing. We had
Breeze Nuts.
Breeze Nuts for Tyler Breeze.
Breeze is gorgeous. Mother Hugger for Bailey.
Because she's a hugger. And we had I'm your biggest fan.
Yeah.
I came up with that. I thought that was pretty genius.
Finn Balor.
Finn Balor. I'm
The
your biggest
greatest.
fan.
That
Actually,
was
Chad
awesome.
made a
awesome.
picture and sent it to him. It was Woody from the Toy Story
On
and
one
Finn
side.
Balor, and it said, "You got a Finn in me." I thought that was pretty good.
He favored it.
He did. But let's get to it, man. It was right off the bat. We're big Enzo and Big Cass fans, right? And so that. I read somewhere that was, some guy said, I've been to the Attitude Era, I've been to WCW, I've been to Manias, I've been to all these pay-per-views. He said that was one of the biggest pops he's ever heard. When Enzo and Big Cass walked out, we flipped. And it was awesome.
And NXT is WWE's developmental brand. They're not, it's not main roster, so they're not as mainstream as all these other characters that you may have heard of. So for them to do these small little tours that they're doing right now, which
No
I'm so
screens.
glad they are.
They came out in a curtain.
Well, the talents, I don't think when they arrive, I don't think they're going to know exactly how if they're going to be that over or not. But as soon as, like you said, as soon as they came out, boom, biggest pop, and they were talking every verbatim, every word that Enzo and Big Cass and Carmella would
But
say.
we were all screaming it.
Everybody, was following.
And actually, Big Cass, we had the sign, "How you doing?" And we're leaning over the balcony, waving this sign. You got to understand, we're one of the only people with signs there. Out of all these people, maybe 2 others. So they're looking at us. And especially when if they walk to the ring, it's the top or the right corner of where they get into the ring. When you stand up there and you look up, it's directly pointing right at us. So all the wrestlers all night were making contact with us, but my buddy Chris caught Big Cass's shirt because he saw our sign and we're screaming for him.
He looks right at us, points, and then just
Looks right at us, takes the shirt off and throws it to him. And I swear I've never touched a shirt that was so soaking wet in my entire life. But that was fantastic. And Chad Gable and Jason Jordan fought them. And Jason Jordan looks like what were they saying to him?
fake Kurt Angle.
Fake Kurt Angle because he'll pull his straps down, and then they started going, "Pull your straps up." Like, it was just fun, It was that kind of an intimate crowd where one guy starts a chant, you hear it because it's so small, and we all started. So that was great. We had Elias Samson, versus Bullfit. That was a little fun. I mean,
Bull Dempsey.
Yeah, but that's Bull Dempsey?
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan, just for the record. Just saying that. Chad's
your
giving me a
fault.
weird look.
That's your fault.
Did you watch that match?
Of course I watched it.
Yes, it was like watching Typhoon wrestle.
I enjoyed because it looked so much like Damian Sandow, the other guy did.
The other guy did look like Damian Sandow. We've read all the reviews and everything, and a lot of our chants people started quoting about. Like, at the end of the night, you guys got to understand, we're so annoying at a wrestling event. They started writing, these guys are trying to get over more than the wrestlers. And in a way, we are.
Yeah, of course.
Like, we're trying to get somebody to notice us. So that match happened. Elias Samson, though, looks just like Damian Sandow.
And he kind of had like a honky-tonk, gimmick. He'd come out, or Jeff Jarrett, he'd come out, with his acoustic guitar, and then he would talk. He had a song that he made up bashing Nashville, saying how he wished NXT was in Memphis, and he really did look just like Damian Sandow. So we got a Damian Sandow chant going on, and he hated it. But Bull Dempsey, he's a beast. He's really big, but he's really overweight in a way, and he uses his overweightness to his advantage in his offense, which I thought was a pretty good match. But what was the next match, Justin?
Next match was the triple threat, Bayley versus Alexa Bliss and
Triple
Emma.
threat. Yeah, triple threat.
And Bayley comes out, like we said, she has a shirt that says, "I'm a hugger." She hugs everybody. Hug life. We've heard all that. But Chad goes, "What about mother hugger?" And we were like, great. So we made a sign that said mother hugger. That chant went over.
Yeah.
They started, mother hugger. So that was another one we got. Right after that, we had Baron Corbin and Samoa Joe.
And this was Samoa Joe's first time back in Nashville since he's been with NXT, because, as you know, he was with TNA for a while, and their headquarters their home office is in Nashville. So he got a very, very good welcome.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was.
Baron played a great heel.
He did.
They incorporated the steel stairs a little bit. It was really good.
We got to see Apollo Crews versus Ty Dillinger.
Cruz!
Perfect. Cruz. That was a fun, and Apollo Crews is just absolutely amazing.
He's an athletic, just genetic beast.
He is. He truly, truly is.
But one of the nicest people I've ever met.
We actually yelled at him, and he was like, "Come on over and get a picture with me." Blah blah. Right after that, we got to the main one that we wanted. We had no clue Eva Marie was there, so we had just made the sign, just because, right?
And
so
I love how the announcer, because there was already a triple threat match going on, and she goes, "All right, the next match is a let it marinate, let it wait a second, Divas match." And as soon as she said that, we all knew Eva Marie was next. So she comes out, instant, mega, huge heat, bad heat. What are we doing here?
So yeah, Eva Marie, horrible heat. I mean, honestly, I knew it was going to be bad, but on our end, I didn't know it was going to be that bad and that heated when she walked out. So our sign, she actually posted a picture of her on the ring, looking right at us, and it says, "If Eva Marie's here, we riot." We've been on the internet for days now researching this and looking up people that were talking about it, and She got like what 40,000 hits on
On
that?
Instagram. She posted it on Instagram. Well, she actually retweeted and reposted the picture that I sent her. I said I can't help but say I told you so, but we had a great time, and she responds back with like a couple of the emojis, and
But she was facing Carmella with Big Enzo or Big Kaz and Enzo. And there's one moment where I look at Chad and I said, dude, I've got it. Please retire. Let's chant it. Me and Chad just start, please retire. And you got to think.
during the match.
During the match, you got to think. This is WWE's developmental.
They're not even
she
main
hasn't even
roster
made
yet.
roster yet, and we're asking her to retire. So we got in her head, I could tell, because right after that, she goes to do just a
10
normal...
seconds later.
10 seconds later, she kicks Carmella square in the head.
Temple, just
And out. And so she pins.
Ref throws X
Ref
up.
throws the X up back of the head, stuff like that.
Medical team comes out.
It was absolutely amazing, though. That was the most heat I've ever seen. And our signs got over so well. After that, we had the Vaudevillains versus the Mechanics. Dash
Great
Bomber
match.
and Scott
Fantastic.
Dawson. That was a lot of
Perry
fun.
Saturn.
That's so manly.
Gilbert.
We heard the one, that was girly. And finally, on the NXT night, we had Tyler Breeze versus Finn Balor. And that was, like Chad said, it was one of the best matches we've ever seen live. Seen ourselves live.
And it was cool because Tyler Breeze periscoped his entire entrance
did.
live,
And during the Periscope, I actually watched it because we're holding up that Breeze Nut sign.
and the people are going, Breeze nuts, Breeze nuts.
Yeah. And so the ref looks at him at one point and just goes, I could tell on the Periscope because he's right, close enough to hear it while Finn Balor's coming out. He goes, do you see that sign up there?
Top left or top right.
Top
obviously,
right.
Yeah.
And then they look up and Tyler just shakes his head in a way and they both noticed. I mean, it was so over, you know what I mean? But right before they locked up, I think you said this already, but right before they locked up.
Not yet, I haven't, but go ahead.
Go for it. You want to say it?
Well, yeah, it was. I totally marked out for it because right before they locked up, I just yelled to Finn Balor. I said, "Too sweet me, Finn," and he just reaches up, throws his hand up to the balcony in our direction, and gives us a very awesome too sweet. It was my most awesome moment of the night for sure.
And of course, everybody was like, "Are you kidding me?" Because our signs are getting over. And then the wrestlers are throwing their shirts at us. They've seen that. Eva Marie coming up and taunting us. The chants. And then out of all of that, the champion, Finn Balor, too sweet you. I mean, how does it get better than that? And afterwards we were leaving and everybody was like, dude, guys, those were the best signs ever. Like, I mean, it was great.
We saw a band, Sleeping with Sirens, who had the official NXT song for TakeOver on SummerSlam weekend. They were cool guys.
They were cool.
And they liked our signs. They thought it was hilarious.
But that was our weekend, man. It was out of wrestling, that was the best. Like I said, we've been to Mania, we've done a bunch of other things, but that was the best. But listen, we got to take a pause for our cause, for fuck's sake. When we return, though, we got Mr. Wade Woods in the house. Mean Street, MWA ex-champion.
Did you just say Mean Street?
Street.
No, I did not. Take a break, Chris. Let's go. We'll be back.
I thought you said Mean Street too.
Is it online or the
No,
app?
my friend just said, he said, never mind, it's our internet here.
Oh, so
Sorry,
I was like,
I just-
got online and I was like, it's working.
No, I just wanted to let you know because I didn't.
How long is the break?
You got to do
You gotta
that?
make sure you put it in auto too.
How long is it?
1, 2, 3 minutes. 3.5 minutes.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Well, you actually got 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
You know what? I'm not gonna do it.
What are you going to do?
I've got my cup in the car with water. So.
What do you want? You want some water? I'll get
Did I
you a
get
cup.
some water? Is that cool?
Get it
I'm good.
We'll get your cup. Hey, Chris, you know about the rollover minutes, right?
We don't really have any anymore.
No, we don't. But when just a minute ago, I was in the middle and I looked over here. Up here, the red, that's rollover.
No, that's what I'm saying. We don't. Forgot about that, but we're gonna have to not use those because we have to insert a commercial break because one of the commercial breaks is only like 30 seconds long, unless y'all just want to take 30 seconds to come back, or I'll have to insert 2 minutes of commercial break.
They
So
said
that's
the
not
promo was almost as
playtime?
good as
Not
the Great
anymore.
Khali.
It was though, right?
Right, but not anymore.
Chris. I see him over there, Jay.
Whatever.
My sunglasses, I see him over there. I'm not forgetting him this week.
I'll hold you to that.
Yeah, you say that now, I'm going to
Wow, it's
forget
already
it again.
11:20. That's flies by.
At least I
You
know
know,
it's right.
crazy.
Me and a buddy of mine had a little
Let
radio
it come
show
on your
that we
head.
did back early to mid 2000s. We had an hour.
You think I'm kidding? This is all there is in
Fly
there.
by, yeah.
Cool. Where's the water?
I'm pouring you some. It's filtered, man.
It's hard water, man.
You just gotta breathe into it. And it'll eventually melt.
It's eventually gonna be water. It's eventual. Wow.
Way to get water everywhere.
Shut up, Max. Hey, Jay, so from now on, don't ever look at that. From now on, every show? So why is that? Because I like that.
Because there's not a commercial break that's in there. There's like it's missing a commercial break on the log.
Permanently from now on?
Like I'm going to have to insert one in there, so you're not going to have 3 minutes of rollover time anymore.
That does suck.
Unless you like shorten a break or something. Like
We can shorten the break.
Like we always a match show, we shorten the last one. Like our last segment's only like 3 minutes long. So
Shorten
we go
whatever you
over
want.
them. So whatever y'all do.
What do you want to start with? Let's start with your gimmick, where you wrestled.
Yeah, you just throw it at me, man. We'll make it work.
This thing's driving me crazy.
Do I need to tighten it or anything?
Can you? They're already pretty tight.
Probably not. Golly, that's tight. That's what you're Wow. Justin,
That is what it is.
You gonna prop it up on my wine glass?
You gonna switch chairs, Wade, so I can get even with him?
Do
So
what?
get a comfy chair too.
What?
Switch chairs so I can be on the same level as him. So I'm not having to go like this.
What are you talking about?
Me and Wade switch chairs.
No.
Hey, look,
he
pick
needs
up.
a mic.
I'll do whatever.
No,
it picks
switch
up.
chairs. You can
Chairs.
sit in this chair. You just
I'll
lower
do
the
whatever,
mic.
man. You
Yeah, just
come
swap
up
chairs
with
with them.
Yeah. Because I'm gonna have to go like that just to talk. You can get a comfy chair. So you can get your guess.
it. Well,
Collis!
See, that's better.
And we're back. Thank you so much for joining us. Like he said,
Good
Tag
music,
in
Chris.
with us. Tag
Good
in with
music. We
us.
appreciate that, buddy.
at 256-764-1340. Once again, we have Mean Streak himself, Mr. Wade Woods. We're gonna start interviewing him. Justin, you wanna go in? Let's give him a good intro right here. Look out.
An intro.
Yeah, give him a good. Give him
You're
a good.
putting me on the spot?
Yeah, give him going.
Hailing from Florence, Alabama, Mean Street. No, it's Mean Streak.
and I'm not from Florence. No offense, I love Florence. Cheers, Florence.
Boy, that was abrupt. Thanks a lot, Chris, again. No, we're happy to have you, though, Wade.
And so, I read on a message that I was your first guest.
This is our first guest.
Breaking our guest cherry right now.
Not setting the bar too high, though, are we?
Well, you know what, man? I remember we were... Now, don't hate me for saying this, but I was like 16, 17, and we came to Muscle Shoals, and it was, am I correct, it was Millennium Wrestling Alliance.
Yeah, the MWA.
MWA. It was over on the, I don't remember exactly where it was, but it was over by the Fame Studios area on that
It was on Avalon Avenue.
Avalon Avenue.
Behind the
Behind the wagon wheel.
yeah, that's what it was.
The old
Did it
wagon
rock
wheel.
you, Mama?
No.
No. But I remember going there, and we saw you wrestle one night, and then we knew somebody, and I can't really remember who, but me and my buddy Chris and my brother and my buddy Elliot and Moody around town, we all got to be in the ring after you guys ended the show. And to me, that stuck with me because there was a sumo wrestling suit there. I'll never forget that. And my brother put on a sumo wrestling suit, and we hit him way too hard. And he's young, like 10. And then we all got up the top rope because he couldn't get up. He's laying on his back and can't get up in the
Just
ring.
didn't
So
move
we're on the top rope and just
Throwing
elbows
elbows.
dropping in. And he started crying. And I mean, we pushed it way too far. You know what I mean? But
Gosh, who let you in the ring?
I have no clue, and I'm sure they're ashamed for it. But you actually wrestled, man. You called in a couple weeks ago, or I think it was last week maybe, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago.
And we got to hear your story about you pretty much, in a way, demanding or earning yourself. You wanted to
spot.
try to get a tryout
Yes.
with WCW.
Yeah,
But
you know,
real quick, let's start from the beginning. When you started wrestling, so you were Mean Streak.
yes,
That was your character.
that was. Yeah.
And so how did you come about this gimmick? And
Well, I've loved wrestling since I was like 4. My dad got me really into it with Georgia Championship Wrestling. So I'm an old school guy. Came in watching Buzz Sawyer, Tommy Rich, you know.
Wildfire.
Wildfire. That's right. Somebody say something about And so I've loved wrestling my whole life. And even in 6th grade, we did this thing, you know, what do you want to do when you grow up? I want to be a professional wrestler. And then, you know, loved it all the way through school. And then I don't know. I'm not sure where the moment was where we decided, hey, we're going to do this. But me and one of my best friends, Jason Fuller, who also wrestled as Baker, we decided, let's do this. And I know what it was. We used to take a video camera around and just shoot stupid little movies and stuff. And we set up a thing one time where he and I fought on camera. And it looked so good. I was like, dude, man, we should look at wrestling. And we already loved it. Both he and I, you know, we already loved it. And we were constantly watching. We were always watching, like with Monday Nitro. We were WCW guys. But anyway. So
Me
we
too,
decided,
man. I was too. I really was.
Well, I was not a fan of, I was more, you know, coming up in the 80s.
Well, you called it the Attitude Error.
Yeah, it was the Attitude Era. And I don't care if you don't like it. If you don't like that, then
I got two
too
words
bad.
for you.
Yeah. And so I think if you have to use that kind of stuff, that ruined the independent circuit, in my opinion. But if you have to use that type of gimmick stuff where you're, you know, stripping women naked on TV and
Cutting off a
cursing
wee-wee.
and doing the stuff.
But don't you think it was a product of the times, though? I mean,
it was.
you
It was
know.
I think. Here's the deal. I think it was a. I know where they came from with having to compete, but there were just some things they could have done with that, and they could have gotten over with the characters they had without doing some of the stuff.
I agree.
You know,
Yeah.
with the corpses and it was stupid.
I stopped watching it when Undertaker was like setting people on the crosses. You know,
Yeah,
that's
that
when it
was-
was like, where are we going with this?
Yeah, and I'm so scared right now. And so, but anyway, we decided, hey, let's give this, you know, and we found someone who we worked out at a gym, and the guy was an old school, you know, he came from the old school, and we talked to him about training us, and he trained us. I'm not in any way comparing myself to Shawn Michaels or comparing us to Shawn Michaels, but we trained ourselves in a lot of ways. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I think we did pretty good for ourselves.
How was just real quick? How was that first night taking bumps? Because you know that's one of the biggest nights for anybody when you get in the ring and you have to start taking bumps.
Well, we trained in a ring that didn't even have bounce. It had no padding. It was plywood.
Oh God!
And
Wow.
during training,
No
you
kidding.
know, took an actual DDT from Jason. Straight up, just DDT'd me right there, full-fledged, straight to the plywood, that kind of thing. So we went through that kind of thing training. And then when we finally got into ring, it wasn't that soft. Even with the padding, it was an old boxing ring. And so the first match we ever had, you know, we kind of had an idea what we were going to do and how we were going to do it. And, oh my gosh, I blew up so bad. I was so blown up. You know, finally, it was like, I was like, gotta rest. Chokehold.
And for those of y'all that don't know what blowing up is, you get in the ring and it's just
Yeah, if
you're
you ever try to run a mile in school without stopping, you know,
Sprinting
for
the
your
whole
fitness test,
time, pretty much.
you blow up
Yeah.
pretty quick.
Yeah.
Blowing up just means
Out of breath.
I'm going to
so.
die.
Yeah.
yeah. You've exerted all your energy
Yeah.
right up front. You've blown up.
Not much oxygen left in the blood. So I got blown up, and it was like, finally, we got to take a break here. And so go to a chokehold, and then we start to get up. I'm like, nope. Keep it. Hang on for just another minute, okay? And so the first match it was okay. I did a spot in that first match where I had him backdrop me over the top rope, and I
Nice.
landed on the ground, and nobody knew I was going to do it. And I pulled the can't feel my legs thing. And the guy who had trained us was there to see us, and like I had a crowd of people come up to the ring. And I mean, certain people knew what was going on, but
You were selling.
like I was selling, people had no idea, and so everybody was crowded around. You know, Baker, Jason, who was in the ring, Baker. We're going to refer to him as Baker from now on. He was in the ring. He knew what was going on, and so he was talking to like my manager at the time, buddy of mine that we brought in. He was my manager, and they started talking. So they were like straight up, no selling a feud there. They were talking to each other. It was like, okay, something's up. So in the middle of all this, Everybody's crowded around me. There's a group of people crowded around me. I jump up, slide in between the people into the ring. He turns around. I did this super kick thing. He goes down. I pick him up. I ended up power bombing him. Winning.
Nice.
It was
That's
a
awesome.
sweet spot. But
Yeah.
we went. The match was
Pulled
too
a Jerry
long.
Lawler, man.
We went way too long.
Might as well have been hiding under the ring.
Yeah, for 3 hours
We're done.
or 8 hours. But no, the first match was a lesson, and we went back to the drawing board. Okay, we've got another match coming up, rematch kind of thing. We're gonna do this different. We're gonna do it right, and that's kind of how it started.
Now tell me, what was wrestling in this area like? That's what I'm really intrigued by, because you know who Rick Singleton is, right?
Yeah.
Or Sheriff. He was a wrestler.
Yes.
Dr. Death. I've actually, he put his mask on one time and held our belt when we went to eat over at his restaurant.
Well, how awesome is that?
Yeah, so I want to have him on, but it fascinates me about how wrestling was in this area, like years ago, because I've heard stories of, and I've said this before, Ric Flair coming to the Florence Coliseum and wrestling.
And those were the territory days,
Yes.
when NWA was kind of yes. The NWA was huge, and then you had all your territories. I know the Florence area was like Continental. The Fullers kind of had that, and so when we came into it, the territories were dead. Vince had,
Already
the
done
big
his
shows.
thing.
Vince and WC, they had all killed the territories, and basically all that was running is just these little indie shows, and so we had nowhere to wrestle really. When we got trained, we were just trained, and then I heard about this show down in Littleville, in this little promotion, SWA. I went down there and watched it, and I was like, we got this. We can do this. So I went back. I talked to the folks that kind of ran the show, and they were like, come down, and we'll let you do a little, before the show starts, we'll check you out or whatever. So our first night to go to be booked for that show.
And this is you in Fuller, right?
This is
Baker.
This is me in Baker.
Yes.
And so we go to it was at the school gym in Littleville. And so we show up, and we're getting in the ring, kind of warming up, and we had a spot we were going to do that night with this guy to kind of introduce us. We were going to be wrestling each other. This guy was going to hit the ring, choke slam both of us. We were kind of going through that. The guy really wasn't, I don't know what happened, but I know he goes to choke slam Jason. Jason gave a lot when he jumped, and the guy pushed, and when he pushed, it brought Jason's legs over, and Jason landed, and his knees hit him right in the head. He didn't know who he was for the rest of the evening.
Wow.
So we didn't have that match. And then later on is when we had that first match. And so, but that's what it was, just little indie shows everywhere, Athens and Decatur and here. We had the opportunity to get started at a place, when we started, there might have been 10 or 15 people in the crowd, and this isn't to us, it's a group of people that ended up making it. But once we finished, when we left that promotion, we had standing room only at this little gym.
Wow.
That's awesome.
And I have videos to prove it.
And
Just
real quick, because we got to take a break here in a second, but I mentioned to you earlier Lulu. She's passed away, but all the old wrestlers around here that wrestle
Lulu.
always talk about Lulu.
Oh, Lulu.
She was this older lady that she carried a water bottle, and it wasn't spray or mist, it was stream. She'd turn it on stream, and the wrestlers would be in there doing a hold, and she'd run up to the ring and just start squirting them all with water.
like disciplining a cat. I saw her at a show once, but I wasn't on this was just actually a couple of years ago. I never experienced, I had a little old lady shooting things at me, but it wasn't water.
That's awesome.
Well, listen,
Yeah.
when we return, we're going to continue to talk to you, Wade. We're actually honored to have you here, but you're listening to The Wrestling Reel. Be sure if you want to call in and talk to Wade, ask any questions, 256-764-1340. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
Cool.
That was awesome.
Yeah. Very awesome.
Very
Yeah, we can
interesting.
talk about,
Hey,
I
y'all.
ran heel. if you wanna talk
Until
about
we
it.
get this whole board thing, can y'all give us like 2 seconds before y'all start talking after that?
Sure.
So we can get the mics off, because just for like those last 3 seconds, y'all
Yeah.
were talking, going across the air on top of this commercial. So just try to remember that until we get this down. But we're good now.
Hello.
Yeah, this one
Hello.
might still be running.
It's not. If it's not counting down,
Well, I clicked it again.
and then it counts down, it still plays like it's fading out when you click on it. But you can turn it up now. Nothing's playing. Like if you click on it, it plays. You click on it again, it fades out. So for like 2 seconds, and then you fade it back.
This is why I don't want to use those up top because that has 211 seconds of that Ric Flair.
But he can stop it. He stopped it.
He can stop it.
No,
did stop it.
I clicked it and
It was still fading down. That's when you turned it
Okay.
back up. You just turned it back up too soon. But you can click on it and click back off it and go.
Can we get music like you do going back in?
Yeah, I'll do it.
How did you do on your test?
It's just on the other page.
Because Matt asked us last week. He's like, "What do y'all want to play?" And he's like,
Hogan's singing over there.
Okay.
So
Hey, you can play Hogan's music coming back in.
Okay.
next, let's get into we can get briefly into your WCW tryout story again and how you did that. I have your favorite angle you ever did. Maybe you can think of that. Person you love to work with the most. Person you wish you'd worked with the most. Anything else you want to add, please? And we just wrote these down.
Okay, did you mention something about the character? Who the character was?
Your mean streak?
Right.
I just asked you how it started. We'll
I didn't
start with that.
Okay.
That'd be a good one. Yeah.
By the way,
character.
I
Because
didn't tell you
he's
that.
a punk. He's a jerk. He'll hit you from behind and take off running. But he'll do whatever he can do to get to the top.
Beltway Christian Church, what's today, Tuesday, Sunday, had Shawn Michaels at their church
Where?
in Texas somewhere. So they had a live stream, and I got to watch it all. It was
That's
really
so
awesome.
cool. I'm wanting to do stuff.
Oh, you told us.
That. Yeah, and it fell through on their part the last time. There was a
You
lot
want
of
it. Shawn Michaels,
miscommunication.
DiBiase,
There was going to
Nikita
be
Koloff, right?
Nikita, Lex.
Was Sting gonna be one too?
Sting was
Yeah.
going to be
Did
one.
you
If
meet Lex when he
possibly
came?
Sting. No.
We went there. I got the belt signed. Actually, this one's signed wherever by Lex.
I met Lex in WCW back in the day. He was really cocky.
So you met him walking.
Yes. Golly.
Just saying, don't do all the drugs, you
I
know.
met him in the walking years.
The walking years.
So,
It's not the wonder years, it's the walking years.
but from
Yeah,
what I
when
know,
you get
man,
into
he's
this
such
one
a
where it's
change.
counting
Absolutely.
down, take it out of it.
Absolutely. Those are inside jokes. I would never say that on the air.
I have a filter problem. So I have to be very careful. I
I'm
was
not
hoping
swearing
that-
right now.
I was
Okay?
hoping nobody here would like get ticked off about that whole dream vision thing. I was like,
No.
I don't know who's
God,
involved.
that was funny.
Hit the hold
I've been-
on.
We're back.
No, we're not. Hold on.
We are back here on the Wrestling Reel with Drumb and Drumber. We have Mr. Mean Streak himself, Wade Woods.
I am a real American.
This is the greatest song ever.
Fight for the right. Fight for your life. Bam, bam, bam. We just gotta let that play for a second. Every time that music comes on, it's like. When it comes crashing down and it hurts inside. But we are back on the Wrestling Reel. We got Mr. Wade Woods in the house, and we've been talking to him about getting into the wrestling business here in town and wrestling locally. And he actually did make some strides to try to make it to WCW, but he's a total mark, just like we are.
Well, I mean, the biggest marks in the business are in the dressing room.
Yeah, we're the smarks, right?
The smart. Yeah, you guys
The
are
smart
the
marks. But you said, I'm going to get back to this, Mean Streak was your character.
Yes.
Tell me how you came up with a character. If you're going to be a wrestler and you've got to come up with a character, you've got to come up with a gimmick, a finisher. Tell us about that. I want to hear how you came up with a character, the process of doing that.
Well, I always wanted to be a heel. Always.
Yeah.
I've loved heels since, I was young watching Robert Fuller and Jimmy Golden, Tom Pritchard, Dirty White Boy, Mr. Perfect, Jerry Stubbs, and Continental. That was my favorite promotion. And so I wanted to be a heel when I started. And so coming up with a name. Every time I would come up with a name, somebody else had it. It was
Did you have some other ones that you were playing around with?
I had, honestly, and this was before the gimmick took off, I thought of Hollywood. Because I really, during high school and right after, I pursued an acting career. And I wanted to be, big-time actor, whatever. And I thought of Hollywood. But it just didn't click like I wanted it to.
Hollywood Woods?
See, it doesn't.
Hollywoods.
Hollywoods. Ooh.
I wanted to name my daughter that, but my wife would not let that happen. Probably for a good reason. So anyway, so we started, we got started, and I was sitting trying to come up with names and writing stuff down, and I thought Mean Streak. And that just kind of that was it. I mean, it's nothing spectacular, nothing awesome, but neither am I. And
Getting
so,
there,
That's a good one though. Mean streak. I like it.
And so I thought that's what a great, because I really loved. There was a couple of characters that I really loved that I thought was just awesome. That was Brian Pillman in the Hill years when he was just out of his mind.
Loose cannon.
Loved that, and so that's how I got started. And so Mean Streak was just a guy who would hit you from behind and take off running, and he did whatever he had to do to get to that next level.
See, I just listened to the podcast with Stone Cold and Jake Roberts, and Jake Roberts was talking about heels and how they don't understand how to, you look at the ref and you don't go against the ref. You agree with the ref for a second until he turns his back.
Absolutely.
And then you make that dirty thing. He turns back around and goes, what? I didn't do,
So was your first idea as a character? So was Mean Streak a heel to begin with?
Yes, he was.
Yes, okay.
But he was a very cheesy. It was a very cheesy shell of what he became because it developed as you get out in front of the people and you realize you play off of that.
You're right,
and so
right.
eventually he kind of got molded through that and storylines and things, and he became my. In the beginning, I was a heel, but I mean, just with faking the whole leg thing, that's that's the kind of that's what he.
Right.
Fake it till you make it, man.
That's right, and so. It was. I forgot your question. Actually, I lost my train of thought.
Your gimmick,
Yeah, but
what was your finishing move?
it was a savate kick, which wasn't a super kick, but it would come. I would do this almost like a roundhouse across whoever's shoulder to get them in the side of the head, and that was it.
Nice.
And I had a killer leg drop too.
Cool.
We used to.
No wonder you wanted to be Hollywood.
Yeah. Well, no. I had more moves than that. And so we used to make fun of my leg drop stuff because I love my leg drop. I could get good height on it. But it's not that devastating of a move,
But effective.
but effective.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's awesome. So you actually were the MWA champion.
No,
not NWA?
No, for
What?
some reason they just didn't see the writing on the wall.
A-holes.
I'm just kidding. No, I was in
So you-
SWA.
SWA. You became the champion.
They made me the champion down there.
Now, did they do? We're still trying to figure out the whole ins and outs, but we know that in the pros, when some guy gets entrusted to be the champ, they come to him ahead of time and they go, "We're trusting you now to be the champion, and he's gonna drop the title to you." Did they do that with you, or is it just you walked in and it's, "Hey, you're gonna be the champ tonight"?
Well, it was one of those things where we would, Booker, it's discussed at a certain point. Hey, this is what's going to happen.
That's got to feel great.
And I would
though.
just go with it.
Yeah.
How many wrestlers were on the roster at that time? Their roster.
I don't remember. I mean, there were several.
Yeah.
We had 6 or 7 matches. So we had at
Enough
least
to
20
fill a
guys.
big card. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's one of those things where I was there to do whatever it was that was needed of me. I wasn't like I got to be the champion.
That's how Scott Hall was.
And it just happened. And I'm in no way, in any shape, form, or fashion. I don't take myself too seriously with what I did. It's not like I'm some local legend. I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
I wrestled for several years locally. Okay, so I wasn't anything major. So just let that be known to anybody. Listen, I'm not sitting here talking like I had this big, awesome, illustrious career because I probably lost way more money doing. I worked for free more times than not.
But
But
it's
that's
a
how much I
passion.
love it.
Exactly.
I'm telling you,
Exactly.
we've done gigs for free because we love being musicians.
Yeah.
It's part of, and I would love. My bucket list is to do one match. Like I just want to do one match in my life, and even if it's local here, I would. To me,
I've
I
done
think
3
that's
practice
so
spots.
cool.
I've done 3 practice spots, and after watching some of the NXT matches of the night and how terrible they really were, because a lot of those matches were just nothing but the heel just doing all the work, and then the big comeback for the end. That's how these live shows, because they got to protect the everybody. But I think that would have been part of the best thing. I would always want to take a few bumps, some legit bumps. I think we could probably do a 15-minute match. Do you think I could do a 15-minute match? Doubt it.
I don't want to say. I don't know. I don't know your physical.
Heel move.
I think we should go one day.
I think we should.
But you mentioned earlier out back before the show started, you were in a stable. What was the stable?
We were the Genesis Project.
The Genesis Project.
And the whole point, you know, I led that up, and it was a thing of I'm putting this place on warning. We're here, and things are changing, and that's the way it's going to be. If you don't like it, we'll beat you up, you know. So yeah, it was me and a few other guys that had come in kind of at the same time, and then we had some other guys that came in. That it just became so much fun down there, and that's why I didn't mind working for free. Number one, because I love the business
Sure.
so much, and I had grown up loving it, and then becoming a part of it. And here's the thing: I've been out of it since 2000 something, early 2000s, and I respect the business so much more now than I did then. And
After going through it
and just because I'm a filmmaker, so and I'm working on a documentary about Continental Championship Wrestling.
Oh, wow.
And I'm trying to put that together and trying to get that going. I've talked to a ton of the old school guys, you know, Robert Fuller, Bob Armstrong. I've talked to the whole roster from back then pretty much, and Tracy Smothers and I became pretty good buddies. And I just I've learned to respect the business so much more.
Yeah.
But I still respected it then, but I was still green. Even I look now and I'm like, wow, I wish I knew then what I know now. And
So would you wrestle again?
what is the famous saying in the business?
never say never.
Never say never.
Ah.
I would love for my kids to see me do it. I tell my wife, she probably is a little less stoked about that idea, but I would love to do something again. I won't wear tights. I'll spare everybody that one.
That's awesome.
But I never wore tights anyway, so there you have it.
I'm just asking one thing. If you come back and do a match, I want to see some color.
No, dude.
No color? You don't bleed?
If I bleed, it's the hard way.
So
I'm
I'm
hoping-
going to have to talk to your
And
opponent
I'm
then.
not the most talented guy in the ring.
For those of y'all that don't know, getting color is making yourself is bleeding.
It's getting juiced or colored or whatever. But yeah, it's something I never. I didn't mind it,
A
but
lot of guys don't do it, you know.
I just
I'm
never did
fascinated with it. Like, you look at Dusty Rhodes and all those kind of guys who used to do it back in the day. I'm a little fascinated with it.
New
because
Jacks. Oh my god.
They would just nick, and then they would get over and start pounding.
That's
But listen,
about
we gotta take one more pause.
Okay.
And
For our
when
calls.
For our calls, for Fox's sake. But when we return, we're going to ask some more questions for you. And actually, we're going to get Mr. Mean Streak over here to dish out a few Flair chops. So y'all stick around.
Don't
We'll be right
forget,
back.
we want to hear from you. So if you have any questions for Mr. Wade Woods, don't forget, call us at 256-764-1340. Be right back.
The Wrestling Wheel.
I've expected some of my buddies to call in anyway and do something stupid. But
This is good, though. I enjoy it. If I was listening on the radio,
I
I would enjoy
wouldn't
this.
want to call. I just want to listen.
I would enjoy
Yeah.
this because the way we're doing it, it's like, it's not just, oh, what did you used to do? I used to wrestle. Like, it's entertaining, I think.
Good stuff.
As a wrestler, like, I wanted people hearing to see what it takes to create a character, you just talk about your first match, getting in, and then all that kind of stuff. I love that.
yeah,
Now, the next segment's only how long?
8 minutes.
8 minutes, so it's going to go by pretty quick, and then we're done.
so you want to do like just throwing out questions, and then I can, if you want to do that, I'm willing to do that. Whatever.
You got me all
Got a
messed up. Like,
caller.
I'm sorry.
we have a caller? No, I keep calling it Mean Streak.
So,
That's why I keep
Press
looking down.
And they're basically on hold right now. Can you tell them to hold on?
Hey, you still there, caller? We'll be
Um,
right back here in just a few minutes. Do you mind hanging on the phone for a second?
NXT.
Yeah, he's
Yeah, we're talking about NXT first.
Yes.
he wanted to know if you had already talked about the NXT. He didn't get to tune in until 11:30, and he had a question.
We did talk about it, but I'll be happy to take your question.
I've got the respect complete up too.
No, tell him we'll still get his question.
So we can still get your question.
We can still get your question.
Yeah. In between.
Okay, never mind.
What?
He said that he didn't.
Bring it on.
He said he didn't have any questions. He just wanted to talk to you guys since we have this guy, and he's just gonna get off the phone.
Oh, man, I'm sorry about that, bud.
What a cool dude.
Yeah.
Alright, just hang up. Drop. Where it says drop.
And we're back.
We're real Americans again.
Welcome back to the Wrestling Reel with Drumb and Drumber. Great show today, but I think we've got a caller right now. No, we don't? Never mind. We don't.
We have Mr. Wade Woods still here in the house, Mr. Mean Streak.
I think that was Dream Vision calling.
Was that Dream Vision calling us?
They're going
They said they're expecting you at the amusement park any minute.
I've probably made so many people mad who
True
really
heel.
believe in that.
Heel
That's a
through and
true heel.
through.
I don't care.
It's awesome.
But we got a few more questions for you, Wade.
Sure, ask.
We've really enjoyed having you on here, man. I enjoy getting to ask people because I've always wanted to be a wrestler. I always have, ever since I was a kid, but my father was a musician and always told me, son, you want to be a musician, do not hurt your hands. And so I've never been an extreme kind of guy, and I've never hurt my hands. So
If you want to be a wrestler, hurt everything.
everything.
That's the way it works.
And I asked you earlier, actually, I said, did you ever have any crazy injuries? And luckily,
No, actually, I never had any injury. I mean, yeah, getting banged up,
sure.
being sore, but like, I worked with some great people,
They really took care of you, yeah.
and the only injury I ever had was a hyperextended knee, and I did that to myself. So, you know,
Hey, you know what, Wade? We actually have a caller right now.
for real.
You're on the Wrestling Reel. Who is this? Swaggy T. What's going on, Swaggy? What can we do for
Good
you?
morning and welcome to the Wrestling Reel.
Oh gosh, man, favorite wrestling match of all time. Good question.
And where was it?
Oh, jeez, dude. Oh,
I'll answer mine. I know mine after. I'll let you think. Can I go ahead and say
you
mine?
go right ahead. Yeah, let me think.
I'd have to say Taker Sean. 1 and 2. I mean, I've never seen a match that went back and forth. It was like a pin, kick out, pin, kick out, pin, kick out, finisher, kick out, finisher, kick out. It was
Are you asking live or
Just any
or
match
that we've
we've seen.
watched?
I'd have to say for me it would be Taker Sean. Those matches to me, I could still go back and watch those and be like, wow, that was amazing. What about you?
I'm going back, and some of my favorite matches were in Continental back in the 80s. Dirty White Boy and Tom Pritchard probably had one of the greatest matches I've ever seen, and they had, like, that year was the Angle of the Year. Just look that up on YouTube if you don't know what I'm talking about. Dirty White Boy, Tom Pritchard, Angle of the Year, and some of the best stuff, man. The beer bottle, they had a beer bottle that they broke. Oh, dude, it was
Ruthless.
yeah, it
That's
was
awesome.
great stuff, and didn't get too hardcore, but it was good. It was so believable,
Now-
so believable.
Are you still there, caller? I want to hear yours. What was one of your favorite matches? Uh-oh, hang on a second. Hang on 1 second.
When we won, yeah.
That's a good one. You can't take away from... I mean...
Sure.
Yeah. That's great.
I think my favorite match ever, to me, it was Ricky Steamboat against Savage at WrestleMania 3. To me, that was it was very before its time. They went forever, and I mean, it was just to this day, and it's still talked about as one of the best matches of all time. Everybody talks about Andre and Hogan, but I thought that was a better match personally.
Hey, listen, we appreciate you calling in and asking these questions.
You
Thank
too, buddy.
you. We got a few more minutes left here on the Wrestling Reel with Drumb and Drumber, interviewing Mr. Wade Woods, Mean Streak.
Yes.
And I'm just going to ask a few more questions.
Sure, dude.
I had this written down. Who's one of your favorite people you worked with in the ring? Like maybe around here that if listeners had ever seen you or
Baker is one of my faves.
and was he your tag
We
partner?
were tag partners. We were opponents. we were
In the stable together.
Yeah, we did it, and he is one of my favorite. And then that's Jason Fuller, by the way. And then Wild Thing Will Owens. A lot of you guys probably have
You were
seen
telling
him.
us about him. He's in.
He's around Decatur
yeah,
area.
Decatur.
The last I talked to him, runs his own show.
And you're good friends with these guys, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing I've always heard. Like Sean and Triple H. When Sean came back, you go 10 times harder with your buddies.
Oh yeah. Listen, we would work so much more snug with each other because we just did.
Yeah.
Like we had a brawl one day at one show, and we were throwing fisticuffs. I walked away with a swollen jaw. I mean, he walked away with swollen parts. So it got crazy when you worked somebody you were best friends with.
Well, listen, we've got, like I said, we've only got a few more minutes left, but we got another caller, so we're going to have to make this quick, caller, but you're on the wrestling reel with Drumb and Drumber. What
Good
can we do
morning.
for you? Thank you. And did you say we had another call?
Dude, I was taking his order. What?
I know who that was. That was Ben Phillips from Second Creek. He just called in.
General's checking. Well, thank you for that. But listen, we've really enjoyed having you here
Thank
today.
you so much, man. I would love to come back anytime.
Absolutely,
I love
but-
talking wrestling.
But before we leave, we're going to need you to Flair chop some people.
Sure.
I need Chris from
normally
behind the
would not do
board,
this,
and I
but I
need
know-
Chad.
I'll take one first.
Okay, I typically
You go
would
first.
not do this, but
You want
guys-
to?
Yeah, I'll go first.
I just
It
want
seems
you
to
to
be
a- All right,
nail
Chris-
them, okay?
Chris Williams
we
is
don't
gonna
hold
take
back.
He's gonna take a Flair shot first. I'm
Got a
gonna take
minute.
one after
We
him.
got a minute.
I need you to do it.
One
Right on the
minute.
mic, right here. Hang on. Shirt up. Here we go.
No, come on.
Come on.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
All right.
Don't bow in on me, okay? You ready?
Ready.
Oh,
nice.
Well, you got another
I gotta
one.
take one. Hang on.
I'm sorry.
Hang on.
Here goes Chad.
That was horrible.
Chad's in the corner now.
No, I'm gonna break my arm on this episode. Bring you out for the.
Here we go.
Flip the wrist, follow through.
That was awesome.
Too sweet, man.
If I could drop the
Perfect.
mic right now, I would just. I'm just kidding. That hurt my hand.
Well, that's good. That it reminded you why you were a wrestler, right?
Yeah.
Pain.
Yeah.
But
Thank you
Wade,
guys so much for calling in
Yeah, we really
today.
appreciate
Wade, Mr.
being
Main
here.
Street. We had a blast. The
Dude,
honor is
thank you
all
so
ours,
much.
man. Honestly,
very
thank you so much.
Thank you.
for all of us here at the Wrestling Reel, we appreciate you guys tuning in and listening. We'll be here next week.
Every Tuesday,
Every
11
Tuesday,
a.m.
11 a.m., talking more things wrestling. We've got Hell in a Cell coming up. We've got the Brock Lesnar podcast with Stone Cold. We've got Madison Square Garden we didn't talk about, NXT. We've got a lot to talk about each and every week. So we will be back next week. Tune in with us live
On the
right here
Wrestling
on
Reel.
Fox Sports 97.9 with Drumb and Drumber, because it's still real to us.
Dude, my hands hurt so bad.
What are you guys doing in
Killing
here
it.
today?
Take it out of
Killing
the-
it. You're killing me. The phone is ringing like a crazy thing out here. And I'm like, what are they doing in there?
It's not for us, is it?
Yeah, it was line 8.
I mean, we were
That's you
answering the
guys.
phone. It's just they were back to back to
To
back
back.
Yeah.
I
And we
mean,
can only have one line open at a time, so that's why it's doing that.
it was crazy.
Wow.
I
You be
mean,
sure to tell everybody
crazy.
that,
Yeah,
okay?
you let people know
That's
that.
what
That's awesome.
I was just telling Fletch. I said,
Tell
what
me
are
it
they
was
doing in here
Wade
today?
Dude, that was awesome.
I didn't know what you guys were
That
doing.
was awesome.
Prepare me for this kind of stuff.
Hey, this
Well, we
is,
do. Okay, I'll do. Here's
These
the
go back
preparation.
there.
Max.
Yeah.
From 11 a.m. till noon every Tuesday. There's no telling what can happen.
Max, will you hand me those headphones? Let me take those back. Those right there.
Wow. I mean, it's been crazy before, but it was
Yeah.
crazy today.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Awesome.
That's good.
Yeah, it is good.
This guy right here. You bring an actual wrestler in the house.
Hey,
Wade.
Well, like I said, I don't take myself so seriously.
And anytime. Anytime.